I think I'm getting sad again. If you guys have watched my videos before, you might know that there was a point in my life where I was really just not a very happy camper. I was not the most excited about life, and I've been pretty transparent about that online, and I've talked about how I got through it, and I've talked about how I avoid getting back into a dark place. You've heard me say that I've gotten really good at not being sad, but as of recently, I've been struggling a lot, and it comes down to a bunch of different reasons. And I talk about being vulnerable a lot. I talk about how you need to be vulnerable about who you are, the things you go through, about the struggles that go on in your life. There has to be a conflict and a resolution. So if you never share the conflict and you just share the resolution, then you're just one of these annoying Instagram people who post their highlights and nothing bad. But the things that have been going on with me lately, they're like very deeply personal. And it's not the kind of things I would want to talk about online. I noticed this pattern within myself where when I'm feeling really down, when I'm feeling very upset about something, I make stuff. I start writing poems a lot, all the time. Anytime I think of anything, I write a poem about it, or I write a verse about it. I write a song, I write anything. I just start writing, and I've written a lot lately. I've written so much, holy shit. But man, I had this dream the other night. I had this crazy dream. And it was crazy, not because anything crazy happened in it, but because it didn't feel like it was my dream. It felt like I was spectating someone else's dream. And I wrote part of a poem about it. I never got to finish it. Okay, I lied. I finished the poem. I just finished it. I just spent like an hour, maybe 45 minutes finishing it up. It wasn't even near completion. It's like I'm not gonna share like 12 lines when there's like a whole 2 pages. Actually, it was 4 pages long. I'm went in the woods and I found this spot. Never even been over here. Oh, there's people over there. That's awkward. Hi. I'm gonna go somewhere else. I don't want to be nearby someone in the middle of the woods. Check out my new adventure shoes though. Got Keens. I had these when I was a kid. They're like waterproof. You could walk through water. Right now I'm wearing socks, which probably not the smartest idea. Maybe I'll take them off, but I love Keens. This tree fell over here. My spot, I'm 90% sure, is right under this pile of tree. This is actually so sketchy. I think it'll hold though. It's just like drooping. Oh, this is so fun. Oh, this is so cool. Dude, what the heck? I'm actually a monkey right now. I don't know how I'm gonna get back, but there's a problem for after I make this jump over these thorn vines onto there. Ready? Set. Oh God, I'm scared. What if it like collapses? It's all dirt. Screw it. YOLO. Yep. This is my spot from like 2 years ago. Except now there's a tree on like the cool part. Like this little rock formation down here. How it juts out, like I would climb up that from below. It was so fun. Man, this place fell off. I don't know if you guys remember, when I first started making journal entries, I made one called The Hero of the Story, and I filmed it here. I'll put a clip right here.
You know, it just makes life a little more exciting. And
dang, bro. Time flies. I made a video like a few months ago called Why You're Not Actually Depressed. And in that video, I talked about all the things I did to get out of depression and how I stopped feeling sorry for myself and sad all the time. I gave you guys like a few like strategies I use to stop feeling sad. And the past few weeks I've like really not been doing that. I've just been feeling whatever I felt. In that video I was like, oh, don't listen to sad music. It actually alters your brain chemistry scientifically. Lately all I've done is listen to sad music, so that's probably why I've been feeling down. Haven't been getting out in nature. I said go out and go do things you love. One of the things I love is going outside, climbing trees, running across creeks. Haven't been doing that. So this is me making an effort to try to do that right now. Because I'm feeling like shit. Another thing I said in that video is to find a purpose, find a passion. For me, my passion is making videos, being any sort of creative, however I feel that day. The other night I had this dream where it was like I was spectating another person's dream. And I woke up and I wrote a little bit about it, and then I went back to bed. I finished it today, so I'm gonna read the poem. I woke up from a series of dreams last night, some of the strangest I ever had. In the first dream, I drove up in a beat-down car to one of those grand houses that you imagine only important people get to live in. There's a party and the door is open and it's loud, and this beautiful girl with long dark hair, she's walking up the front. I don't know who she is, but I feel like I've known her my entire life. I get out of the car, make my way up this elegant drive, afraid to lose her once she gets inside. And she's walking there ahead of me in this long red dress. She somehow looks out of place to me, but she walks with a purpose that tells me I'm the only one who sees. We walk into this grand house with all these grand people inside, and she's turning all these grand heads. Everybody's looking at her. She carries herself in the most impressive manner. When she speaks to people, she's kind, yet she's calculating. When these grand people speak to her, it's as if she knows what they're going to say before they get to saying it. And when she responds to them, her words are weighed in a way that you feel she's rehearsed them 100 times. She speaks like no one I've ever met. When she speaks, you start looking around, you start looking for a camera, or maybe just to check if anyone else is noticing how she talks. Like the protagonist in a movie you watch because you've heard such great things about it. The kind of movie that leaves you feeling jealous that you weren't the one to come up with it. The kind of movie that leaves you insecure that as damn hard as you tried, you were too naive to understand it. Anyway, at this point in the dream, I start to feel out of place. I'm not dressed for the occasion, but I get to looking around and nobody's noticed. Nobody's looking at me. They're all looking at her. And I realize this is not my dream. I'm just part of the crowd. They're all looking at this beautiful girl with long dark hair, the girl who, to nobody but me, also looks out of place. And then the dream shifted, and I was taken somewhere far away, to the second dream. I'm on this mountaintop, this big grassy slope. I'm up high, I'm looking around. To my left, there's a cliff that drops down to a sea, and the sea runs off into the horizon like it's got no place to be. To my right, there's a cottage on the grassy slope, the only man-made thing for miles. Looks like a scene out of Heidi. It's morning and it's sunny, and I look over at the house, and a little girl runs out crying. She's got short black hair and a little red skirt. She looks like Little Red Riding Hood, and right away I know that this is the girl from the party. She can't be any older than 6 or 7, so this must have been years ago. She runs out crying, clutching a little bear. She runs right past me. She doesn't see, because I'm not really there. She gets out on the cliff and falls onto her knees, starts hugging him. A moment later, a man comes out of the house. He's got a drink in his hand. I assume he's her father. He walks up to the little girl and her little bear, and he just stands and stares. She stops crying, wipes her tears, but she won't look at him. He stumbles over something that's as close to an apology as he can muster. She still won't look at him. He turns to go back to the cottage, starts walking, and she stops him. She says to him something that I couldn't quite hear. He turns, he sets the rest of his drink down on the stump of an old tree. He leaves. She walks over, starts to drink. I don't know what it is, an apple juice, a beer. I go over and I sit beside her. She's drinking on the cliff with her bear, her only friend in the world. She's looking down at the water below, watches the waves crash and watches them go. And I'm there too, but she doesn't know. The very, very, very little girl. And that's the dream. That's the dream I had. It was a really weird dream. I don't know why, but it felt important. It wasn't even my dream. I swear it was like I was watching someone else's dream. So strange. Anyways, I think I'm getting sad again, man. Everything's hard right now. I'm 21 years old. I just got into a dream school of mine across the entire world.
Hey guys, so the other day I got a letter. I got a letter in the mail.
And I don't think I'm gonna be able to go for lots of personal reasons that I don't really want to get into, but
Story time. Very important, life-changing story time. Second semester last year, I really wanted to study abroad. I was like, I'm in college, there's all these study abroad programs. I have to study abroad while I'm in college. So I start looking into it, and after talking to tons of different offices at my school and trying to figure out if I can even study abroad, how it works, everything, I basically find out there's no way I can study abroad this late into college, and there's not enough time before I graduate.
I'm about to graduate with my undergrad in information technology. I've never really had a draw towards IT. I don't really care to pursue it as a career unless I can build off of my degree and maybe somehow tie it into the video stuff. So I wanted to get my master's in something that ties the IT stuff into the digital marketing stuff I like, content creation, tie it all together so maybe I could get a job that I would actually care about and feel fulfilled doing, you know? At least until this YouTube stuff takes off. I've spent a long time living here. I live in Texas and I hate the summers, hate that it's hot. Hate that I live in the suburbs. It's nothing but strip malls and soccer moms and nothing. There's nothing here for miles. My house sits on a big grid next to a bunch of other houses that look exactly like it. You gotta take a 10, 15, 20-minute drive to get anywhere you wanna go. If you don't have a car, you're stranded. There's nowhere to walk. You're just in this big suburban hellscape.
So I was pretty bummed out. I was like, I can't study abroad. What am I gonna do? Like, what if I did my master's abroad?
So I started researching. I researched schools all over the world. If you do college in Europe, it's way, way cheaper. So I was like, why don't I just do that? Because America's school system's screwed up and they want to charge you like $50,000 a semester. I started looking at schools in Europe. I made a list of 18 schools that I wanted to go to.
And I made this whole Google Doc with like 20 pages with all the information of all these 20 different schools. And when the applications opened this fall, I started applying.
I applied to one school.
Finished it, submitted it, got recommendation letters, everything. Submitted it. And then
some stuff went down. Stuff that makes it to where I can't really leave home right now. I gotta be home right now. Texas needs me. The city needs me. So I stopped applying.
But I had done one application, and then I started looking at programs like more local programs, but all those deadlines had passed by that point.
So that leaves me with no job out of college and trying to figure out what to do next with my life and my future.
I was busy applying for the Europe ones, and then if I want to do it here, my master's, I would have to start like a semester or a year later.
Which at the end of the day is not a big deal. You know, it's 1 year. I can apply as soon as I can and see where I get in and go there. And I had kind of accepted that, you know? But then one night,
Then 5 days ago,
I was up late. It was 5 a.m. and I just started writing. I wrote this big long poem about a boy who moves to the city and he's writing a letter to his mom. He doesn't have anything when he goes, but he stays persistent and he keeps on trying, and he doesn't let it get him down by himself, living in a beat up apartment, but he makes it happen. By the end of the poem, he's like, I did it. I called it The Boy You'd Grown. I posted it on TikTok and stuff. I really liked that poem. And a lot of other people resonated with it, and it made me feel really good. But the morning after I wrote that poem, I went to bed like 5 a.m., woke up.
I get a letter in the mail. Admission offer.
From the one school I applied to,
I got into the one school I applied to. It's one of my top choices.
WU Vienna.
Vienna University of Economics and Business. It's like one of the best business schools in Europe.
Man, it's like I had accepted that I wasn't going to Europe at that point. You know, like it was done in my mind. I was like, okay, it's not gonna happen. But I had already submitted one application before that happened, and then
I don't know, it felt like the fact that I only applied to one program and I got into that program felt like, wow, this is like kind of fate right here.
it's a good school. It's kind of hard to get into, and it had the major I wanted. It had everything I was looking for, and it's in Vienna, which people say is the cultural heart of Europe. There's so many different kinds of people. There's so many stories, and it's beautiful. I think they filmed The Sound of Music there. They filmed so many famous movies there. My dad showed me a coffee shop there. When I found out, he was like, oh, look, there's this, I forget what it was called, but he started name dropping like 6 super famous philosophers. They would go there and have coffee and just write. And I was like, man, imagine sitting in a cafe on the other side of the world and just writing. I don't know, I romanticized it in my head when I found out.
And it all just kind of clicked for me in that moment. Like, I need to go. I have to go to Vienna. This is where the path of my life is pointing, and I have to go there.
Then, you know, I came back to reality. I can't go right now. I did the mature thing, the mature, responsible adult thing that I have to do here, and I
went and accepted my admission offer, and I signed the document, and I did all the things, and yeah, nobody knows. I haven't told anybody. I just did it.
I accepted my acceptance.
I gave him a security deposit,
Like, I had to like confirm, like, yes, I'm gonna go, and I did.
paid him some money, and I also signed the document and accepted it. So if I don't go,
Then I just lose the money I sent them.
dude, I had to, bro. I had to. I can't just, I had to take the third door. This is my whole brand, bro. You gotta take the risk. I had to take the risk, man.
I don't think I'm going. I'm just still like this lost kid who has no idea where his future's going. And that's hard to come to terms with when everybody you know is making videos, chasing their dreams, blowing up on YouTube, doing all these things. I've seen so many of my friends just absolutely go crazy. Like, they're finally doing it full time because they put their all into it and just went all in on it. But I've also seen the inverse. I've seen friends of mine who went all in. They took the risk. They burned all the bridges, sunk all the boats, went all in on the video stuff, and it didn't work out. What I'm trying to say is I'm slowly learning that everyone has their own path and that nobody is behind, nobody is ahead. Everybody's just doing their best with what they have and what their life entails and the knowledge they have to the best of their ability, and that's all we can really do and ask for. So yeah, lately has been really, really hard, but I'm doing my best, man. Doing my best. Everything's gonna work out. Maybe I'll move to Vienna when I'm 25. Who knows? It's like the Billy Joel song. Vienna waits for you. Things are hard. I think I'm getting sad again. But growth isn't this linear slope. You know, you don't just figure out the key to happiness and just... It's just another lesson. And I'm sure I'll grow a lot from it. Just like I did the first time I was sad. Which made me discover I love videos. So, thank you. Love you. Good night.